Alrighty. So we have all that, so let's hope things are synced. Hello everybody, and welcome to the testimony of Trixie Glimmer. Now, this game is actually a sequel to Parsnip, from what I understand. And it has music. I didn't add the music this time. They got feedback and they added music. I'm enjoying this music. It's awfully funky. I'm not entirely sure what this game contains, but I believe it does have mature themes of some kind, if not gore or spooks. There might be something else not quite suitable for the youngins. So, if you're not okay with dark themes or any mature content, I'd suggest perhaps checking out another video. But I'm actually quite excited to get into this game. I loved the last one. I don't think this one's traditionally done like the last one, but it still looks adorable. I mean, look at those incredibly boopable snoots. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. How about we get right into it? My name is Trixie Glimmer Smith. I'm a first-year student studying regional history and culture studies here at Bluebell University. Events in the past week have led me to falling behind in my coursework. This is my extenuating circumstances statement of case. I hope it is sufficient to explain why I need more time to finish my coursework. Thanks in advance for reading. Thanks. It all started last week. At about 10 in the morning, I dragged myself out of bed and gotten dressed. Oh my gosh, look at that bed pillow! Oh. Oh. Okay, so this is how it's gonna be. Right. It's 2 weeks till my coursework deadline. Right. It's 2 weeks till my coursework deadline. Time to start this report on Blue Hill County Cultural Exports, 800 to 1900. I sat and stared at the brief for about 10 minutes. Okay, no more slacking. It's time to get to work. I noticed I just clicked onto a 2-hour video essay about memes on video.com. Before I had any more time to be distracted, there was a loud knock at my door. I jumped, knocking my cereal over. No chocolate pebbles. Cocoa pebbles. I mean, unbranded chocolate flakes. I jumped, knocking my cereal over. Milk and chocolate-covered sugar flakes split across my generic student accommodation apartment carpet. Someone outside yelled, "Trixie Glimmer Smith, open up! We have something to discuss!" I recognized the voice. It was Nikita, my course's top student. We didn't talk often because she's kind of horrible. I slammed the spacebar and quickly opened up a website about sheep. It wasn't really relevant to work, but I hoped it might look educational enough to make Nikita judge me slightly less. I can't speak. Nikita scared the crap out of me, and I didn't want to keep her waiting, so I ignored the puddle of chocolate milk seeping into my carpet and opened the door. Nikita immediately charged straight into my room without asking, and I ended up backed into my desk. Right, Trixie, you have to do me a favor. Her eyes briefly glanced at the cereal puddle, but quickly locked back onto me like lasers of a sniper rifle trained on my skull. I instinctively sat back down in my chair and looked up at Nikita. I probably looked pretty subby. It would almost be kind of hot if I wasn't a fucking loser. Hi, Nikita. Look, Trixie. If I hadn't bailed you out last term by doing your coursework for you, you'd be fucking dead, right? I mean, I'd not go. You'd be living in a bush and eating dirt because you don't want to go home to your family and admit you fucked up over your education by sleeping through an entire term. I mean, that's a little harsh. I'd also been playing video games, writing raunchy fanfiction, and growing breasts. It would be nice to get some recognition for that for once. I know it was. But listen, my point is, you owe me big time for literally saving your life. You didn't literally save my life, what the fuck? Whatever. Look, I just want you to find me a play script. It's easy. Oh, is that all? I mean, sure, I can do that. I guess you did help me a lot, right? Sorry, it's just, you were being really aggressive, so I assumed you were going to make me kill someone or something. Tabby, maybe. You hate her. Miss Knight is a try-hard bitch wasting everyone's time by running against me for student president, but I don't need her dead. I need to keep her around to make me look good. Tabby keeps psyker crystals in her bra to prevent lunar interference, which I'm pretty sure isn't even a word. That's a pretty low standard to make you look good. I felt pretty bad saying that. Tabby was really nice, even if she was a little quirky, and didn't really notice me. That said, interference definitely isn't a word. I'm not very likable, so I need all the help I can get. Anyway, shut up. Your laptop is playing a video called Sheep Falling Over Compilation 6. While your coursework paper is titled, and I quote, "Starred soon." So are you going to help me, or am I just going to never bail you out of one of your fuck-ups again? I glanced at my laptop. EpicSheepFalls.com wasn't as educational as I thought. Fine. What do you want exactly? More specific than just a play script? Last night I was walking back from the library when I noticed some paper fluttering about. I don't usually make a point of picking stuff up off the floor, but something drew me to it. I picked it up and realized it contained writing. I read it right there in the courtyard. When I finished reading, I stood in silence for some time. I'd read an excerpt from The King in Yellow. I don't know how it got there, but I'm certain if that page is there, then the rest must be nearby. A surviving copy of the infamous cursed play? Do you realize how important that is? I'd heard rumors of The King in Yellow and of the ghastly writings within. I very much doubted Nikita had found a page lying around at university. Copies were meant to be impossible to get a hold of. Supposedly all lost or burnt long ago. Wow, I always assumed that play was kind of a myth. Are you sure it was legit? Maybe you just found someone's fanfiction. Ooh. Nikita slammed her fist onto my desk with a bang. I know it's real. Sorry. It's okay, you're probably right. Only a real loser would write fanfiction about the King in Yellow. The completed play would be of immeasurable importance to my studies. I could write my entire thesis analyzing how it has affected folklore both locally and worldwide. I need the full copy. Now, after the initial shock of finding it set in, I started sneezing. I concluded there must be some kind of allergen on the paper. I happen to be allergic to exactly one thing in the world. Not being a bitch? Shut the fuck up. I'm allergic to daffodils. Daffodil Lane is a few miles from here. I happen to know that the lane has a lot of daffodils, hence the shitty name. Given their relative rarity elsewhere in the county, I believe the page may have originated there. I'd rather avoid going there myself. I'm too important to get mildly uncomfortable. Besides, I'm busy brainstorming slogans for my student union presidency campaign. Right now, I'm thinking knowledge through unity, unity through Nikita. Oh, jeez. Whatever. As a thank you for me saving your life, you are kindly going to Daffodil Lane and finding the rest of that play for me. Good? Thanks. I still wasn't convinced there would be anything to find, but I kind of wanted Nikita to leave my room before she noticed I'd left some of my underwear on the floor. I mean, I hadn't agreed yet, but fine, I'll go. Just stop being so rude to me. It's not a good work relationship. Fantastic. Thank you for being so accommodating, Trixie. I'll let you get on with it. I have some books to read. Nikita brushed some dust off her shirt and left without a goodbye. According to my laptop, it was still pretty early. I guess I should get going. I may as well get this over with so Nikita stops bothering me. I found some snacks. I knew I would need them on my quest? Errand? Whatever this crap was. A 20-pack of cheese ropes. I fucking love artificial flavorings. I found my phone under an old shirt. Not that much use, it can basically only take calls and receive messages after years of wear and tear. My phone's light flickers unless you constantly shake it like a maraca, so I brought along a torch as well. A torch seemed like one of those things that was good to have when you're looking for something. In retrospect, I should have made sure I had batteries in it before I left. I crammed everything into my bat bag. A lot of people accuse me of having a bat fetish because of all my bat products, but it's not true. I just like that bat cartoon Cyber Draculias from space from a few years ago, but there's no official merchandise for it, and those bats were really cute. Anyway, I got distracted by my laptop for a while. Well, like 3 hours, but I got a lot of work done. Kinda. The 2-hour trek through the countryside during the worst heat wave in a century took its toll on me. I'd never been good with summer. I usually just hide inside, so I'd underestimated how hard it would be being out in the sun. Oh, hi, Kat. I didn't realize you were going to join me in this playthrough. Can I help you? It was also about here I realized I'd never cleaned up the cereal on my floor. I did eventually reach Daffodil Lane. I took a little rest in some shade and got my bearings. Whew. I hope the weather gets worse soon. I could use some rain to cool me off. I took a look down the lane from my vantage point. 4 quaint little cottages dotted the dirt road, and at the far end was the tree line of Blue Hill Woods. I'd been in the woods once before as part of my course. They were old and filled with interesting landmarks. I considered taking a walk in them once I sorted out the play stuff. It was probably cooler under the trees. Oh, Parsnip, hello. Hi. A small, rather eccentric-looking rabbit had appeared behind me while I was distracted. Before I could say anything, he held out a weird yellow string. Since we're such great friends, I made you a friendship string. No. The friendship string was about 6 inches of tattered yarn, seemingly dipped in yellow acrylic paint and sprinkled with what appeared to be sugar. It was faintly disturbing on a level I can't communicate, even after everything else that has transpired in the following days. I added sugar so you can taste it if you get hungry. I hope you like it, best friend. He seemed proud of himself. I kept it. Confused, I took the string out of the rabbit's paw and held it up for a closer look. It looked just as bad up close. I tucked the string away into my bag. Thanks. Hi, I'm Parsnip, and that's my cottage. He jabbed a paw at the nearest cottage, the one with the well-kept daffodil patch in front of it. A small sign with my cottage written on it stood on the path next to it, clearly marking the cottage as someone's cottage. Hi, Parsnip. My name's Trixie. I'm looking for a book that might be around here. Have you heard of The King in Yellow? Wow, I love yellow. Oh, wow, it's my favorite color. Okay. Well, that's good that you like yellow. The book, though, do you know it? I don't read books. They're so boring. I'm Parsnip, and I'm a fun bun. Wanna come play with me? Distract him. This was getting too weird. I wanted out. Wow, look at that. I pointed into the distance. Parsnip just stared at me. I'd much rather look at you, new friend. Oh, okay. Well, I can't come play with you right now, 'cause, I have to find the book for my friend, remember? Wow, that sounds really exciting. You're like a detective. Oh, I mean, it's more of an indebted servitude thing. Like I don't really— Oh, wow, cool, that's amazing. Before I could begin formulating a response to Parsnip, the sound of a cuckoo clock blared from inside his cottage. It was loud, even from a good 50 foot away. Uh-oh, it's time for trumpet practice. I'll talk to you later, new friend. Okay. He ended up getting distracted anyway. He merrily skipped off to his cottage. Okay, bye. I crossed Parsnip off my list of potential owners of a forbidden play. He didn't seem like someone who'd own anything that required reading. I started to walk down the lane, past the out-of-tune trumpeting blasting from Parsnip's cottage. I'm not convinced he even had the trumpet the right way around. I figured I'd try the next cottage. It didn't look as well kept as Parsnip's, but I could see some arties set up in the garden, which piqued my interest. An arty person might have a copy of an evil play just to make a statement. Hey, cool, an artist. I can relate to them. I drew a picture once. Oh. I approached the cottage and caught sight of a rabbit lounging in a deck chair, smoking and drinking wine. Classy. She was tall, stylish, and pretty. I was pretty hyped to meet what I assumed to be a famous artist. Either she didn't see me or she chose to ignore me. I noticed her cigarette wasn't even lit. Hey, hi. I waved nervously. I wasn't used to talking to professional artists who were probably rich. She tilted her sunglasses down slightly to look at me before pushing them back up. Hello. I trailed off. My head felt light from the heat. I swayed side to side, starting to regret not bringing a drink. Sorry, I don't have any water on me, so I'm a little out of it. Anyway, I just walked down from university and wait, you walked all the way here from the university without any water in this heat? I remember letting out a quiet yes and collapsing, but not much else, until I woke up a few minutes later. The rabbit's face was looking down at me from her deck chair. She looked mildly concerned, but apparently not enough to move me from being face down in the dirt. You fainted. Are you okay? I think so. Could I maybe have some water? I brought some out for you already. She motioned to the ground. That's the wine. The rabbit went wide-eyed under her glasses. Oh, so it is. How did that get there? She picked up the wine and shuffled shamefully into her cottage, returning a few moments later with some tap water. Thanks. I downed the water and felt a little better. It was pretty stupid of me to not bring any with me. I realized I hadn't introduced myself and thought I'd better do it before it became too awkward. Hi. Wait, she's holding the cigarette backwards. Hello. I didn't do a great job of it. I'm Trixie. Leros. There's a frosty silence. So, sorry to bother you. It's just, I'm doing someone a favor. They think there's a copy of some old playbook around here, The King in Yellow. I can't say I've heard of it. Are you sure your friend didn't say Daffodil Library? You know, the one in town? I briefly worried she had. No, I'm pretty certain she said Daffodil Lane. I don't know where it could be, though. I asked, Parsnip next door. LaRose seemed to grimace at the mention of Parsnip. You spoke to Parsnip. Are you sure? You look like you still have the will to live. I didn't, but that was unrelated. I mean, yeah, a bit. Is he that bad? I mean, he's a little excitable for sure, but... LaRose's blood pressure looked like it was rising rapidly. Back on topic. I decided it was best to change the subject. Anyway, sorry. The book, you haven't seen it? She shook her head. I don't get out much, though. If it is around, I will probably wouldn't see it. I didn't even realize my neighbors were missing until the police came knocking. Oh geez, the squirrels, yeah. Didn't it turn out they just went on a cruise in the Pacific Islands because they're rich and got bored? It was on the news for ages. No. I accidentally started the rumor that they just ran off to go on a cruise during the school term. Probably true. They were rich. Rich people do that stuff, right? I don't think she was expecting an answer. Look, I was brainstorming, okay? Why am I becoming Russian? It is not my fault. The police just took that as a fact and ended the investigation immediately. I'm sure they're all fine. The police just dumped all the evidence they collected outside and left. ACAM, right? All cops are monsters? ACAM, all cops are messy. Point is, you could go poke around in boxes if you want. They won't care. Maybe you'll find your book. Huh, yeah, maybe. Is there anywhere else around here an old playbook might be hiding? There's the woods. They're pretty big, but there's bound to be at least one book in there. Though, I'd avoid them if I were you. So dark, nasty, and no one lives there anyway. Well, I mean, there's a beehive, but they're a bunch of authoritarian jackasses, so they don't really count. I tried to go paint there once, and they got busy with me. The swarm of fake socialist mini-dictators. There's not a whole lot on the road either, besides a sheep field and some fucked up magpie. No. This place is kind of boring. That's why I moved here, to get some space. It didn't work. Cyberbat Wildstar always used to say, space is where you make it. Right. Does that actually mean anything, or... no, not really. It's from some cartoon. So, wait, where did you used to live? Before you moved out here, I mean. Town. I teach there. Oh, you're one of the art history lecturers at the uni? Do you teach the Blue Hill Art History classes in the second year of Regional History and Cultural Studies? I do that course. I'm sure I might have seen you around. I teach preschoolers how to use glitter pens. Oops. Anger seemed to burn under her surface. I was worried her wine bottle would shatter in her vice-like grip. They don't appreciate my art. I decided to run away before I said anything else stupid. Well, anyway, sorry to bother you. I'll go take a look at those evidence boxes. Have fun. She went straight back to staring off into the distance. I let her get on with it and headed over to the neighboring cottage. LaRose was right. The police had left their investigation unfinished and just ditched the evidence into a couple of boxes. Fortunately, the summer had been a dry one and everything seemed to be in good condition. I peered through one of the cottage's windows. It was definitely deserted. It was probably a pretty nice place when it was looked after. I could see the occasional bit of half-eaten food laying around on the floor, making a mess of the otherwise cozy, middle-class countryside retreat. I started sorting through the box labeled Kitchen 1. Most of it seemed to be bits of old snack packaging and half-eaten food. Gross. Fortunately, most of it was so artificial that it wasn't even capable of molding. Interestingly, a DVD copy of Jenny Jason's archery training, Time for the Game Machine 100, also had a large bite taken out of it, and the toaster seemed to have lick marks on the grill. An entire box of sugar acorns seemed to have been emptied into a box. Coating everything with a thin layer of nutritionless dust. Someone had been very hungry. The next box, Kitchen 2, only had a couple of gas canisters inside. I guess they were for the cottage's stove. I didn't think Daffodil Lane has much in the way of actual infrastructure. The last box, labeled Kids Room, contained the only real interesting stuff. My eyes went straight towards a small games console and a selection of video games. I spotted one of my favorites, Gun Attack 2. Oh hey, this kid is one of those little fuckers who always screamed abuse at me when I tried to play that online. Actually, I probably shouldn't refer to a possibly missing kid as a little fucker. That feels a little wrong. There were more sweet wrappers through the kid had clearly diversified her diet by eating crisps on special occasions. This kid doesn't seem to be the type to collect old play scripts. I doubt it would be in here. In fact, I don't think there's a single word in this box that isn't a brand name. As I said this, I realized I was wrong. There were some very obvious words in the box, and I don't know how I missed them before. On a small paper booklet, scrawled in faded felt tip writings, read, "There's a monster near the woods." Underneath was a crude scribble, vaguely resembling a crouching figure with a woolly thick body and 4 eyes. Some kind of imaginary monster. Or maybe a wool suitor, I thought. Oh shit, that's ominous. The handwriting was childlike and shaky. It couldn't have been more than a month old. It was probably written as some part of silly game, I thought, but that didn't stop it from filling with dread. What was that monster? I stupidly spent all of my first term reading books about local cryptids, something I was now starting to regret. I didn't actually believe in them, but seeing a warning about a monster on a possibly missing kid's possession freaked me out a little. Maybe the kid was right. Maybe Mr. Sprungy had gotten them, or Old Lady Whitetail, or even the wilted rose water snake. Though I doubted the last one, even in my slightly paranoid state. Imagine the wilted rose water snake lived in Wilted Rose Lake, like 30 miles away, unless it had been the victim of a particularly poor branding. I started to admit spending so much time reading about silly monsters instead of doing my actual work had been a bad move. I felt sure any second now I'd hear the sound of Clayton Wimberly, the 5-faced eye stabber behind me. That I'd turn around and presumably get my eye stabbed. Wait, like the purple-shirted eye stabber from Cyanide and Happiness? I shook it off. I was being silly, but I still felt uneasy. I realized the message was written on the front of a small scrap paper booklet. It looked like it had been written and illustrated by the kid. Squirrel Warrior Princess Adventure. Squirrel Warrior Princess was on an adventure to save the Squirrel Princess Dragon. She went through the hills and there was a monster shaped like a woolly person. Squirrel Warrior Princess shot them with a bow and arrows and won. "That is what you get if you are my enemy," said Squirrel Warrior Princess, said the squirrel. She drove her car, big car, fast and reached Castle Grimskull. "I'm here to save you, Squirrel Princess Dragon." Or Princess Dragon, my bad, said Squirrel Warrior Princess. She went through the castle and used her gun to shoot the bad enemies, and she went up the castle. "No one can defeat me. I am the strongest warrior," I said. A skeleton poked out, but Squirrel Warrior Princess punched it, and it fell down and cried, and I laughed at it. "That was really brave. Thank you for saving me," said Squirrel Princess Dragon. She flapper her dragon wings. She has dragon wings and can breathe fire, but she's a squirrel. They played video games together and won Sniggle Player of Medallion of Honor in the end. Inspiring. I decided it was best to leave before I left much more incriminating DNA on everything. I felt pretty sure I wasn't going to find the play amongst that junk, and I wasn't breaking into what was technically still a crime scene on Nikita's behalf, so I headed down the lane to the last cottage. I strolled past the sheep field. The silly creatures were absent-mindedly chewing on the grass, as sheep are apt to do. It looked like a refreshingly simple life. I don't see no sheep. The field was overshadowed by a large tree. There seemed to be a few shiny pieces of jewelry trapped high in its branches. Maybe it was one of La Rose's art pieces? The ragged nest was perched up high near the top. It looked deserted. This was probably where that fucked up bird La Rose had mentioned lived. The cottage at the end of Daffodil Lane was a bleak building, to say the least. The windows and door were all boarded up. Its interior was dark, and the entire building had an uneasy aura around it. Compared to its scenic surroundings, this place was a septic sore. I remembered the child's creepy message. If there was anywhere near the woods a monster would live, it was here. I was almost relieved to realize I had no way of getting the boarded door open. Oh no, there's no way I can get into this cottage. I'm so weak and brittle. I felt a little cowardly, so I went out of my way to half-heartedly tug at one of the planks. Fortunately, I'd never been strong, and estrogen was further reduced my ability to pull planks off of things. Well, that was conclusive. I can't possibly get these off with my weak little arms. I almost used this as an excuse to get out of doing Nikita's busy work, but without her help, I knew I'd fail my coursework. I wasn't going to go home a failure. I will forever regret not taking the excuse. I should get a crowbar or something. I think that's how people get planks off of things in, like, games and stuff. I'll head to town. I'm sure I can find some boring old person shop that sells tools there. I dusted off my hands and started to hike back to town, somewhat regretting never learning to ride a bike. The monster near the woods would have to wait. It was a long walk back to town. Still, the exercise was probably good. I hadn't spent much time in town since moving to Blue Hills. It's so loud and busy for me. I was looking for a tool shop or something when I noticed a small shop called Heidi's. In the window was a big poster. All crowbars half price. That was convenient for sure. Oh, this place isn't creepy at all. Oh, wait, is this a space bat? Bro, they got space bat merch here. Also, it appears there's a bird in the snack machine. Or at least there was. Man, that bunny plushie on the right looks lifeless. Soulless. Actually, it looks quite the opposite of lifeless, but it does look soulless, so I guess there's that. The shop seemed empty. Hello? Is anyone here? Nothing. There's a door behind that counter, slightly ajar. I guess it led to an office or something. Maybe the owner isn't there. Let's look around the shop. I guess I'll just wait a while. I looked around the shop. It seemed to sell everything. Magazines, tools, sweets. The pricing and everything seemed to be almost random. I had no idea how Heidi was running the shop this way. I took a look at the vending machine in the corner. It didn't have a window, so I had no idea what was in stock. I gave it a tap. Ooh! Squawk! Before I could think too hard about what happened, I noticed a cute Cyberjack Cool Yes from Space plushie. The only bit of official merchandise ever produced for the show. They'd been taken off market because they contained lead, but it looked like Heidi hadn't gotten the memo. Ooh! Hey, don't break that! I dropped the plushie back onto its shelf. A hyena had stepped through the door in the back room. Either her spots were dyed red or she was splattered with blood. I assume this must have been Heidi. Sorry, that was like toxic though. Jeez, who are you, the PC police? She smirked. I think she was trying to make a joke. Also, I think your vending machine yelled at me. Yep, it does that. Anyway. Welcome to Heidi's. How may I help you today? That only looked and sounded extremely forced. I saw the poster for crowbars. Could I get one? It was an exceptionally fake laugh. I was a little worried I was being mocked. Sorry, kid. I sold out a few hours ago. Unlucky. I'd overstocked. Typed an extra 3 zeros on the supplier's site. Ended up with 2,000 of the things. I had to start selling them off dirt cheap, but then the supplier just bought them all back. Guess they'd want to resell them. Still, I made a good profit on it. Those suckers. She paused for a moment, doubt flashing across her face. She started counting on her fingers, her grin quickly turning into a frown. She recounted, and then recounted again. Those fuckers. I made a 4,000 euro cost. Mr. Crowbar is fucking dead. She seemed to remember I was there. Anyway, you want a crowbar, right? What for? You don't look like the DIY type. No offense. It was a little offensive, though admittedly very true. I need to break open a door. I realized that probably sounded pretty suspicious, so I tried to defuse the situation. I'm not a burglar, it's my door. Strange mix of resignation and confusion appeared on her face.
You accidentally boarded up your own door? Screw it. She seems fine.
Okay, I'm breaking into a house, but it's abandoned. It's an urban exploration. I'll be, in this case, very rural.
Oh, sweet. I don't give a fuck about that. I just don't want to end up complicit in you breaking into someone's house and kicking them to death.
I was relieved she was going to let me have a crowbar, but also slightly offended that I apparently look like a very inefficient murderer. Heidi dashed through the door behind the counter and quickly reappeared with a crowbar.
This is one of my personal crowbars, and I need my others, so if you somehow break it, don't come begging for a replacement. I don't offer warranties. That's €15.
I rooted through my pockets and realized I'd forgotten my wallet. All I had is about €3 in coins and a Demon trading card, which is a little odd since I don't even collect those. I kind of forgot my money.
You forgot you needed money to pay for things at shops?
Yeah, I guess. Do you accept trading cards? She didn't look amused. She drummed her fingers on the counter for a moment.
Okay, whatever. What if you owe me a favor?
I hope this wasn't going to be a weird sex thing.
It's not a weird sex thing. Don't make that face, pervert.
I suddenly resented my naturally pervy face. I wasn't thinking about that. What was it you wanted?
Nothing crazy. Just helping me sort some extra stock.
It's dildos.
Usually I have to do it myself, but 2 hands are better than 1, right? Of course, you have to sign a NDA. Or not, what do I care? I have a taser.
That didn't sound very exciting, but I needed the crowbar, so I didn't have much of a choice. Okay, as long as it's something small and legal. Another unconvincing laugh. I think it was supposed to sound friendly.
Yeah, it's fine. It's small, it's legal.
Did you just try to fake a reassuring laugh?
Fuck off, it was real. Give me your number so I can get a hold of you.
I gave her my number, hoping I wasn't about to end up crossing any borders with fine kilos of counterfeit electronics hidden in my clothes, because I knew I'd be too awkward to say no to that.
Great, I'll give you a call when I need you. I prefer to texting. Easier to shout. And don't try to get away for free. I have a taser!
She put her hand out for a handshake. I guess she wanted to seal the deal. I limply shook it with my puny little arm. Sure, thanks for the crowbar. I guess I'll see you soon. I left the shop armed with a crowbar, reflecting on how I seemed to operate entirely on a favor-based system these days. Oh well, I thought. It was cheap. I was pretty hungry, and as I walked through town, my eyes were drawn to a small shop called Greg's Bakery.
You're broke.
The shop had a charmingly decorated exterior, albeit a little cutesy for my taste. I gazed at the food on display in the window, and I'm pretty sure I drooled on myself. It looked really good. I really needed some sugar.
Oh gosh, is that a sugar glider? Flying squirrel?
Hi, welcome to Greg's Bakery. I'm Greg, and this is my bakery. Greg has sharp fangs like a bat, which is nice, though obviously that isn't important. Oh, hey, I'm here to eat cakes. Do you sell cakes? I don't know why I asked that. I knew you sold cakes. I'd just been drooling over their display. Oh, sure we do. I make them all fresh every day.
Do any catch your eye?
If you decide you don't want cake, I have plenty of other pastries and treats for you. An iced bun, a pizza slice, a donut, vegetable rolls, a bag of sprinkles.
The choice is yours.
They seem nice, albeit slightly hyperactive. I kind of suck at buying food, especially when there's so much choice, so I was glad to hear the door loudly open behind me and distract Greg. Hiya, Belle.
The usual. You betcha, hun. How's work going?
Great, thanks. It's been a quiet day so far, but now I have 2 customers at once. Exciting, huh? What was it you wanted me to get you? They were looking at me, and I still hadn't decided what I wanted. Yeah.
I've been cut from another milk delivery route, Greg. Can you believe it?
What? No way, another one?
How come?
The distraction gave me a chance to pick something. I scanned across the cakes, desperately trying to choose one.
My old manager left a few weeks back, and the new one is, semi-competent. He noticed it was taking me the entire day to do the morning run, and that they were paying me to deliver to empty buildings. I was like, no way, my contract says I have to, but he read my contract and it doesn't. The contract excuse had worked flawlessly for like 4 years, so I had no backup plan. So, yep, I'm just delivering to North Acres since they refuse to let us deliver via drone like we do everywhere else now. I'm almost obsolete. Good job, those NIMBY are keeping me in a job for a little longer.
Oh no, North Acres?
I've heard bad things about that place. They aren't too keen on outsiders. What a sucky situation. Oh heck, have your food on me.
They placed Bill's order on the counter and canceled the payment. 2 large coffees and 4 vegetable sausage rolls. Pretty impressive lunch.
Aw, you're too kind, hun. I'll make it up to you. North Acres ain't so bad. I just ignore the locals and don't hang around.
I think she must have noticed me staring at the cake slack-jawed.
Oops, sorry for pushing in, hun. I'm not used to there being other people here. It's pretty quiet most days.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got distracted. What was it you wanted? I remember turning to look at them, wide-eyed in fear.
Donut, obviously, donut.
I wanted a donut, but somehow got hurt in my confusion and messed up. I get cake. I jabbed a finger meekly at a random cupcake.
1 triple chocolate muffin coming right up.
This wasn't going to plan. They picked up the muffin with some tongs and slid it into a paper bag.
Any other cakes, drinks, or savories?
A cheesecake, maybe?
Cheese bake?
A cheese bake, maybe? I'll get another muffin, please.
Great choice.
Belle was looking at me, munching on one of her rolls. She seemed amused by my inability to buy cakes.
I don't think I've seen you around town before. What's your name, hun?
Oh, I'm Trixie. Trixie Glimmer Smith. I only moved here a few months back, and I don't get out much.
Nice to meet you, Trixie. The name's Belle.
She stepped forward with her arm outstretched, and I shook her hoof. It was really clunky and awkward since she didn't have fingers.
I hope this ain't too presumptuous, but if you're looking to make some friends here, you're always welcome to come down to the Attic Mouse, the bar just around the corner. It's always nice to make some new pals, you know, especially if you're new to the area.
I sometimes go with Belle, but I've been too busy with the bakery recently. Everyone there is super nice, very gay too, so you can just be yourself. I guess we're lucky to live in the queerest town in the country. I mean, not officially sure, but heck, if you're trying to find someone here who isn't queer. They had a point. Everyone I'd met here was pretty fucking gay. Oh, thanks for the invite. I'm not too good with social stuff, though.
That's fair. You're always welcome to come along, though, hun. Just thought it'd be nice to let you know there's somewhere you can go if you need it, you know?
I realized it was getting late and I still had to walk back to the cottage. Crap, I gotta go, sorry. I dropped some coins on the counter and ran off the bakery. Hope I paid enough. I heard the pair say bye behind me. They both seemed kinda nice, albeit a little scary.
What do you mean? They're like the least scary ever.
I had to take a short break to recover from gorging on about 5,000 calories of muffin, but I eventually reached the abandoned cottage at the end of Daffodil Lane. I managed to pry the front door open with the crowbar, which was tough given my complete lack of muscle mass. Regardless, I got the door open and tossed the crowbar away. My weak little arms couldn't carry it anymore. Without waiting around, I stepped through the dingy portal. I was immediately hit by a wall of stale air and decay.
I actually think it's time to end this. So, I am going to leave it there. And, yeah. We're gonna leave it there, and then we'll pick it up next time, eh? Thank you guys so heckin' much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, as always. If you could have a cow that is literally any color or color combination, what colors of cows would you have? Alright, well, I suppose that's the end. See ya.